Good, because I'm just throwing it in there, pushing the button. Yeah, no, don't worry about eyelines. It's great. We love the audience. Woohoo!
Yes.
Woo! Welcome back, Mrs. Ryan. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Holy cow, it's been weeks and weeks and weeks. I feel like, like a kid who's back from summer break. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Tonight is, I did the wrong thing. Here we go. Tonight is Tuesday, July 9th, 2019. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans, and this is It's Tonight's show. We are back after we had a dark week. We had a dark week for the holiday. Happy holidays, Mrs. Ryan.
Happy holidays to you, too.
How on earth are you doing today?
Doing okay.
How have you been?
Been exhausted, but whatever, man. It's the holidays. I got some sun.
You did. We both got some sun. It's nice.
Warm me up.
They finished the sun deck. They were redoing the pool and gym and spa area for like 6 months, actually. So it was closed forever, and then now it's open. So we're, enjoying that, having morning meetings out by the pool sometimes. Certainly last week while we were off. It was great. Happy 4th of July to everyone else. What else has been going on? Earthquakes, Mrs. Ryan. Earthquakes.
Huge. 2 huge ones.
Well, 2 earthquakes for sure. The only damage that we suffered here were some crooked photos, all of which have been straightened since. We've been very lucky, but I will tell you, the place was rolling.
It was rolling like crazy.
We are currently on the 3rd floor of a building with a basement, a parking basement. And, we went for a ride. Luckily, this building is new. It was built in like 2011, I think. So it's up to all the codes and everything, but it was still a ride. That second one specifically, the 7.1.
Yeah, the second one. Whoa.
Big deal. What else has been going on? What else have we missed?
Everything. I don't know.
There have been some awesome breakfast clubs. We'll probably talk about that. There is a lately video, but we're not going to play that today because we have too many other things. With that, I think I should stop talking. We should play some videos and then get our guest in here, who I didn't get a chance to tell you about today yet. Here we go. Okay. Our guest today is actress Michelle Lang. She also is the founder of the Relaxation-Based Lifestyle and the author of this new book. I happen to have a copy of it right here. The Mermaid's Guide to Empower Your Child in Water and in Life. It's pretty interesting. We're going to talk all about that in a few minutes when she gets in here. But right now, I think it's video time, right?
Yes.
All right. We're going to go either behind the... no, that's not right. We're not going to go behind the orange curtain. We might do that later in the week. We are going to do a backstage pass with Ray Schaefer, or we're going to check in with the East Coast feed with Danbury Chive.
I would like East Coast feed first,
East Coast feed first. All right. Going over here to Connecticut, checking in with Danbury Chive. And the East Coast feed. Roll it out.
Brooke, the Casman. We got Grandma, we got Mike, we got Taylor, and Sterling. And Facebook Live in the background. We're playing some Yahtzee here on the new couches, right, Brooke? Brooke had a little root canal action going on there. There's Grandma. There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
Are you a YouTuber?
That's exactly right.
Remember, you say hi to the camera. Say hi to Jay and Nicole.
Hi. How you doing?
There it is. There it is. She loves you. Love you guys.
Wow.
I love that family.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I love that grandmother. She's 93, 94, something like that.
Yeah.
Still totally spry. One more for them, and we're doing this because it's time sensitive. Now we're going over to Ridgefield BMW to check in with Danbury Chive and the East Coast feed specifically. Roll it out.
Mr. and Mrs. Ryan, East Coast feed coming to you live from... Oh, it doesn't say BMW on my shirt. I'm wearing a different shirt. Thank you. It's my friend Lauren. Hey, we're just here with a random card from BMW Corporate. Actually, it's the Gay Pride Parade for Manhattan card they're going to be running in the parade. I think you find something interesting with that. It's pretty neat. Look at Lauren's our model. She could help out point it all out here. And it looks pretty neat. It's got a bunch of different fun stuff on it for Gay Pride weekend in Manhattan. And that's it. Just want to send you some random love with the M850. And as you can see with the jersey plates, clearly it's a BMW corporate car. Later.
How cool is that?
That was awesome.
So BMW corporate made That's a brand new car that has just been released, the 850.
Okay.
They made a special Gay Pride Parade livery 850.
Cool.
That's what. So it had the checkered flags and the rainbows and everything else. Isn't that awesome?
That's
And it
something
looked-
they made. That's so
I saw
cool.
Jonathan Adler on the back, so I'm assuming he's a designer. I'm assuming perhaps he was had something to do with it. But very, very, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. And thank you to Kazman for showing it to us. Okay, Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Now we're going to head over to Backstage Pass with Ray Schaefer.
Okie dokie.
See where he is today. Roll it out.
Good morning, Jay and Nicole from the Porsche Experience Center, Atlanta, home of Porsche Classic here in North America. It is Saturday, and today is the 928 Rendezvous. Now, the 928, a model that was produced from the 1970s through 1995, there are about 61,000 of them in total, is a vehicle that is supported by Porsche Classic. Right now, we're making over 8,500 unique parts specifically for that heritage model. And today there's going to be a great selection of them upstairs. So as I like to always say, why don't you come along and let's go see what we can see.
Impressive, Ray Schaefer. Oh.
Well, Jay and Nicole, I hope you enjoyed this visit with the 928 Rendezvous folks this morning. They've come from all over the U.S. to be here, and what an amazing selection of 928 models. Hard to believe looking at those cars that the concept for the front engine transaxle design began as early as 1971 and was in development, of course, went into production in the late 70s, ran all the way to 1995. Really cool model with a great variety of variants available over the years, typical of Porsche evolution and engineering. So I hope you've enjoyed their look. Until the next adventure, Jay and Nicole, have a great show.
Oh. Someone's working on his production value. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
His performance has gotten so better, but
Fantastic.
now his camera work's getting better, his editing is getting better, and certainly his composition is getting better.
Agreed.
All right, so with that, thank you, Ray Schaefer. If not already, please consider following Ray Schaefer for your backstage pass to all things Porsche Classic, brand heritage, and travel-related material. That's ray.schaefer, S-H-A F-F-E-R. Thank you, Ray Schaefer. We love you. Okay, Mrs. Ryan, that wraps up all the stuff I have to do. It's time to ask the question that's on everyone's mind.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
What's going on, Mrs. Ryan? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
In the UK, they're starting a new initiative of happy to chat benches. They're installing benches all around the cities that have a plaque on them saying happy to chat. So that you sit there if
Saying
you
you're
don't
open to communication?
Yeah.
Like, come sit with me. We'll
they're
have a little talk.
encouraging people talking to each other.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
We got one right here.
Yeah, it felt very similar, and so I love the spreading of love.
Where was this, you said?
In the UK.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So keep it up, guys, and chat. Similarly, it turns out that different kinds of animals like the beaches. We think it's just us.
Do
but
we?
there was some people do, but there was a deer at Lake Michigan that was just like frolicking along the sand, like
is there
with
a video
people.
of that?
Yeah,
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I'll send it to you. It was so cool to see, and so chill, and the people were chill. So just a reminder: when you're out at car stuff and you see a dog, just be chill. Animals are energies just like us. So if we like water, they might like water too, and driving and pretty nature stuff.
Speaking of which, I believe we are 1 month away. 1 month from today, The Art of Racing in the Rain comes out.
Oh, well, kudos.
Mr. Patrick Dempsey produced, and Mr. Jeff Swart was the second unit director, did all the racing stuff.
It looks beautiful. It's a great story. So
yeah.
It's a nice tie-in for animals. Yeah. There is an airport in Australia that paused the takeoff to let a turtle go by.
Oh my! Look at you! You're all about the wildlife today.
Yeah, today I'm about wildlife. And
the turtle on the runway?
There was a turtle on the tarmac, and I guess that's the runway.
Was he in the middle of a race?
No.
Oh.
But he was walking really slowly, and so someone got on the loudspeaker and was like, "Sorry guys, we're gonna pause for a minute. There's a turtle."
Nice.
And it was 4 minutes.
Who can be upset about that? 4 minutes.
The outpouring of support and love for the flight crew for doing that was incredible. People just were like so happy. They were like, whatever, it's 4 minutes. Like, we'll watch the turtle. And lastly, they're opening airports for non-travelers in some places.
I posted about this over the weekend. It delights me.
Yeah.
Delights me.
It sounds awesome. And I used to love watching planes take off and land when I was a kid. So that this is a new option for people.
You want to tell people what it is?
It's amazing. There was different reports in different airports.
Do you want me to do it?
Yes, please.
Okay. When I was a kid, my dad used to take me to do this. We would just go to the airport to watch the planes. You watch the planes take off and land, some smaller airports, some big airports. Essentially, you would go to the airport to not travel anywhere. You would go to people watch, to go to have a lunch, to whatever the heck. It doesn't really matter. Go for exercise, like mall walking. And after 9/11, you needed a
ticket
Security,
and
needed to get
check
past
in.
a certain. You want to do it? No.
Nope.
No, go ahead.
Nope. 9/11 changed everything, period.
9/11 changed everything, where all of a sudden we couldn't do that anymore, and there were all sorts of regulations and rules, and you can't go here and you can't go there, and there was all sorts of reasons for it. But now it seems that they've figured out a way to check people out who aren't flying and say, yeah, you can go over to the airport for the day and spend the day as a non-traveler. You have a non-traveler's pass, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
But the article specifically was a grandfather who was taking his grandson, and he loves it. And they go have a sandwich at this place every time, and they go have a milkshake at this place. And to me, it was just delightful. So I like it.
I like it too.
Great people watching at the airport too. If
The
you're a writer,
best.
you know what I mean, writer's block, struggling, take a train trip or go to the airport.
I used to love going to airports. Yeah, I would enjoy that too. So non-travelers passes are coming to you.
That's right. Oh my goodness. And that's been What's Going On, Mrs. Ryan? Dun, 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 dun. All right, Mrs. Ryan.
Yeah.
Time to take a break.
Yes.
Keep this train on the tracks here. Michelle Lang will be in here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break. More to come. Michelle will be sitting in that chair right there. We're going to talk about her new book, A Mermaid's Guide, as well as her the new thing and all the other stuff and her acting career. We're really excited to get her in here. More to come right after this. You good?
So good. I just love how everything's like, are you going to have to take all of this out if you ever move?
At some point.
Or someone's just going to have a really nice room?
We're having the discussions now about moving to a studio at some point.
Yeah.
And we're back, by the way. Hello, everybody. We're back. We're sitting here with Michelle Lang. Hello there, Michelle Lang.
Hello.
I want to say right off the bat that I may confuse your name a few times. I keep wanting to say Michelle Lee, of course, famous actress.
Okay.
You are Michelle Lang, but you played Bruce Lee's wife?
Yeah,
Or was
Linda
it-
Lee.
I mean, we'll get to all that,
Yeah.
but so I'm having kind
So
of
it's
a mental.
all confusing.
No, I may say it wrong once or twice.
It's
'cause,
okay.
Whatever, I'm saying it
Correct
up
you.
front so that yeah, exactly. Thank you.
No,
thank
probably
you for
just let it
being here.
pass.
Thank you for being here today. I hope you are ready for this.
I'm so ready. I'm ready.
Great.
Want all the
Game
good
on.
energy from your desk.
We were just talking about the set and everything
Yeah.
before. That's what you seem to be.
love
Is
it.
that what got you here? The set?
Well, Na got me here, and then she told me about the set. And
Oh, that's
so it's
right.
a triple win, really.
That's right. So Na Win, who was a guest on our show only a couple weeks ago, I guess, is a mutual friend. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys don't know each other.
Correct.
Okay.
She asked me to have you on before she even came on.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, she's
'Cause
loves
Na's a
you.
giver.
Yeah, she is.
She
She
is.
said the same about you.
Yeah.
Oh no, she really it's part of it. She does publicity and producing and other stuff too. But I come from this film family, and I've told Na this, but we feel like we kind of like vision quested her into our life because we had these three other elements of pre-production, writing, production, and we would make these films, and we did not know anything about publicity. We're like, we really need to find somebody
Yeah,
who we
this
love.
This is my issue. I know how to make the product. I don't know how to get other people to see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's such a different world. So we manifested her into our lives.
All right, I love
Nice.
this.
Yeah.
All right, well then let's back it up with you because you know I'm Mr. Timeline guy. Where do we start with you? Where'd you grow up? How about that?
I was born in Utah, then
Okay.
moved to London, then to Wisconsin.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, I missed one. Then to Colorado, then Wisconsin, and then I went to school at Northwestern in Chicago.
Oh wow. All right, so
Yeah.
I mean high school years maybe.
Wisconsin.
Okay. So would
Yes.
you say I grew up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I would kind of claim Wisconsin, although when I moved to Colorado after London, I was in London from 1 to 3. So that's
And if
when
you have London, you can't not mention it, right?
You
'Cause
can't not
London has to
mention
be
it.
part of there. I spent some time in London when I was a kid.
Yes,
I
you
would
work
too.
it in, but I wish they would have let me keep the accent because I had to go
Oh.
to speech therapy and they made me say 100 million times so I could say my R's
In
properly.
Wisconsin?
This is so
In
interesting.
Colorado. Yeah.
So we'll get to the whole thing, but you bounced around a lot at an early age. So did you,
Mm-hmm.
and she never lived abroad, but she once moved to a different town in a different state and developed an English accent.
Really? How did that happen?
You were young, right? How old were you?
I was 8-ish.
Okay.
And I was made fun of horribly for my Rochester accent. It sounds very Bostonian, but very nasally. And so there was a British exchange student in my school. And so I mimicked her. And so I sounded British for a couple of years because it was better than sounding like I was from Rochester.
That's amazing. People are like, are you from London? You're like, no. No, I'm not.
No.
Right.
And for a while, when I was an adult, if I got tired or drunk, I would sound Canadian or British.
That's so funny.
My New York comes out if I get tired. So
Yeah.
does your London ever come out, even though you had to?
Sometimes people will say, oh, do you have an accent? And I feel like it's a London,
That's when it
Wisconsin
comes.
mutt. It's like a really strange mix of like the most kind of eloquent and then, oh, yeah, I seen you at the store the other day. Like it'll get into that kind of
Well, then what on
blend.
earth was it like growing up in Wisconsin and then going through high school in Wisconsin with what I'm going to assume is already an arty kind of a sensibility, I'm assuming with what you've chosen to do with your life. But you've already been to London.
Well,
Do you know what I'm saying? There's a perspective there. You have the perspective of having lived abroad and now you're in Wisconsin to grow up.
yeah, I mean, for kids, I think I really didn't think I was going to be in Wisconsin that long. My sister and I took this ginormous thing of toilet paper and we said, by the time this is done, we will be done with this place.
Oh, I love that.
Like one ginormous thing of toilet paper. It didn't, I mean, we agree with that.
We don't intend to shit here forever.
Totally. We're like, only this. So, I mean, as a kid, I really grew up in the theater. I went
Yeah.
to theater in London. My parents took me to this little puppet theater in London, and that's really my first memory is sitting on the pews
Well,
at
wait
this
a
London theater watching these puppets.
At what time frame are we talking about? Can I
So
ask?
I was born in 81, so this must have been 82.
But this is when the Muppet Show was being done in London. Like the actual Muppet Show. Do you remember the Muppet Show? Jim Henson's The Muppets?
Yes, I do, but
the Muppet
I don't.
Show. Do you remember the Muppet Show?
No, I don't remember.
You probably were a child.
Was it on TV?
It was on, it was
See,
on television.
and this is funny because my parents did not believe in television.
Oh, wow.
Like I did not watch.
Whereas it raised me. Okay.
Yes, well, a little different. Like I never watched television. Like I think my first movie was Nell when I was
Oof.
14 or
That
something.
was like 96.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I saw
Holy
Sesame
cow.
Street. I did get to watch Sesame Street.
So you were aware of the Muppets.
Yes, I was aware of the Muppets, but we
Wow.
really went to the theater all the time. And
Okay, so that's what I'm getting. So you
Yeah.
didn't go to the Muppet Show in 81.
No,
okay,
we
okay.
didn't. We didn't. But we saw a lot of beautiful marionettes, and it's not like the usual puppets. These puppets are so intricate, and they
Yeah.
can move their toes even. We still quote them when
Oh
I'm
my
home with my
gosh.
parents. We still quote
What
like
did they
these.
say?
There was this one about this dog, and it's dog abuse, dog abuse. You asked me to count to 10 with my cute little paws. It's abuse, dog abuse, and we'll like sit around and still sing it. Like, I don't think I've ever told that story. That's so random.
With musical accompaniment.
Yes. See,
That's
my mom will be so proud.
That is funny. That is funny. Holy cow. All right. Well, all right. I was trying to see if there was a parallel there, but all right. So was it the Muppet or this puppet show that got you into the theater, or because I came up with theater as well? I mean, we're in a little black box theater right now, for lack of a better purpose.
I know, and I love it. Like, this
Was it the
place
make
is so
believe? What
amazing.
was it?
I think it was just the fact that you can travel to a different place. Like, really, it's funny. I have the book, A Mermaid's Guide, but my first one that I remember is The Little Mermaid in the Marionette Puppet Theater. And these
wow.
tiny little wooden marionettes were floating through the audience.
Did they do
was
this is the
amazing.
Disney show, The Little Mermaid? Or
Yeah, but it was the actual kind of
the original. Yeah.
tale of it. It wasn't any of the
Right.
songs.
No Sebastian.
No,
Yeah.
there wasn't Under the Sea.
Right. But there was always the tale of the siren and the.
Yeah, so The Little Mermaid, and I don't remember the specifics of the plot or what they did with it, but I do
She
remember.
wanted to be up there. It's the same thing, right? She fell in love with a real person, and
I think so.
wanted to be.
I don't know. I was so little. I just remember the mermaids and the bubbles. Like the bubbles would float through the audience, and it was so magical. And I thought, this is incredible. And then when I did see the movies for the first time, I thought, well, this is really. You can be transported to a different place in a way that, whoa, what is happening? What is happening? It's like my childhood. This is, I was like, what's that noise? Maybe it's a fan. Maybe it's
Your face was incredible.
that
worth it.
was amazing.
very few times people mention bubbles on the show, so I get to push
amazing.
that button.
Well, maybe I'm going to mention it a few more times, so you can get ready. The bubble saga continues. That was incredible. Yeah, so I just grew up in the theater. I grew up in Wisconsin. It was actually great because if you said you wanted to direct a show, it's a small town. So my mom would be the director, and I would
Sure.
show up and actually get to direct the shows with my mom's help. But I mean,
It's
I
a great
grew
way
up,
to learn the other roles, though.
Yeah, it was a great way to learn, and you have such a community behind you, so you feel like you have this level of success that you maybe wouldn't get right away in London or a big city.
Yeah.
You know, people really will hire you to direct musicals when you're in high school.
I agree, and I'm attached to all this stuff, but how did it change when you go to Wisconsin? Because I don't imagine that the scene was the same.
Well, it wasn't the same as far as, you know, we weren't in big London theaters, but there are some beautiful theaters in Wisconsin. The Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater is a really old historic theater.
Okay.
And I would act in shows there, and the State Theater was an amazing theater, and they do have a really good theatrical community there. And I
Okay.
would do shows at the middle school and high schools around, and you know, theater is theater, whether, I mean, it felt the same to me, whether it was, you know, for
As a
ton
kid,
of
I think
people
you're
or-
probably right. It does feel the same because you don't really know the difference between a coach and first class. You're just in a
Right.
seat on a plane.
Right, you're just going.
Yeah, right.
enjoying
We're just
your
going on
ride.
a trip. What's the difference?
Right.
What could it matter? I just know from doing different towns even that the talent pool was significantly different, and then somehow that equated to my level of interest in the product. Like, what we're putting out is really good. I'm into it. I'm going to give it my all. And then it's like, it's another one. Maybe not everybody was giving their all. It had nothing to do with what their abilities were, but they weren't giving it their all. The
Yes.
commitment wasn't there, and mine was. So that would I would separate. Now,
Yeah.
I'm assuming when you got to Wisconsin that you've got all, you're ready to go because you've got this background. Did everyone else, or were you kind
Yeah.
of... Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah, no, everyone
That's
was
what's a
like,
surprise to me.
yeah, everyone was really, we had a really big theater group, and I would do sports and theater, so I was a little bit of the oddball out, but everyone was so
But kind of fit in everywhere, probably.
Right, yeah, kind of just would go around to each group, and we had an amazing theater group, and everyone really, I mean, we thought we were on Broadway. Wait, we weren't on Broadway.
Good for you. That's the right attitude, though.
Yeah.
The right attitude.
You always pretend you are performing on Broadway. What were some of the shows you did?
We did Come Blow Your Horn,
I don't know that one.
and it was my first kiss on stage in high school.
Well,
Yes, and the director was like, not good, not good. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing.
About the kiss? Not
About the
good?
kiss,
Oh.
yeah. Well, I didn't know.
Sure.
I thought you just like pressed up and went. Like,
And,
I
and
didn't
what
know.
do you do?
Well, you're supposed to move a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. My husband's a really good kisser, so maybe he can, break it down.
The
but
education came from.
yeah,
too.
well, but it was so awkward to have your first kiss on stage. Like it's so
And
strange.
How old were you?
Let's think.
to
must
me
have
is
been
the
in
awkward
a
part.
freshman in
Yeah,
high
14
school.
on stage.
That's tricky.
Nope.
Yeah, super
Sounds bad.
tricky.
you don't need the criticism.
There's no
either.
winning anyway. There's no like nailed
Yeah.
it.
Nailed it.
That was the
It's
one.
just
Steve-O,
awkward.
from
Yeah, super awkward.
show.
So that was my first romance.
Okay.
on
So
stage.
what other productions?
We did. Let's see. We did a lot of them. I'm trying to think what.
I don't mean to
Come
put you
blow
on the
your
spot.
horn. No, it's just been so long since I've thought about them.
All right.
I
Well,
mean,
after that then.
well, we did. I directed one called "This Is a Test," which I wrote in the middle school. I
wrote the play? You
I
wrote
wrote the
the
play.
Whoa.
It pairs with another play, so I kind of wrote a prequel to the play. I was like, why not? I can write a prequel to this man's play.
Why
And that was kind of great about Wisconsin. No one look at you cross-eyed. They're like, sure, you want to write a play and put it up? Okay, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, great.
Go for it.
Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of great. So we did Wizard of Oz. We did Cinderella. We did, just so many shows.
Did you
So
see
many
that
shows.
just recently? There was a high school production of Alien.
No.
Yeah, they got James Cameron's stamp of approval afterwards and everything. They had the
Where?
whole Alien. I don't remember. Kevin, do you know? Do you remember? Did you see that?
That's awesome.
No kidding. Oh, that's a riot.
That's wild. No, we didn't do anything that intense. We did Neil Simon, and
That's
Love Neil
intense.
love Neil Simon.
Love.
I will say,
What's your favorite?
um,
Do you have one? It's hard.
it's hard.
Mine is not a popular favorite. My favorite would be by far Murder by Death.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've never seen it in play form, but the movie is just all-star cast is fantastic. I don't even know if it was in a play form, but it was written. This movie was done by a script done by Neil Simon.
Yeah.
But Murder by Death. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, so,
So
good.
good.
I met
And Peter Sellers, Peter Falk, everybody's in that movie. It's so great.
So
Maggie
good.
Smith.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've seen it, but I
Peter-
met Neil
Coco.
Simon out here a couple times
Whoa.
before he passed,
Royalty.
and that was like one of the most
That's awesome.
amazing experiences. I'm like, I'm sitting around talking to Neil Simon.
Did he get it? Did he get who he was?
Well,
There are certain people, and I'm asking, almost Gene Roddenberry. He's like that for me, along those
either
same
his
lines.
wife or himself introduced himself as Neil Simon, and it, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
something, because I knew somehow, and then I kind of walked away for a moment, and I went back to the same house. Well, I went home and talked to my husband. I'm like, I think I just met Neil Simon.
Oh man.
Like, it was so trippy. And then I went back and actually had a conversation about baseball. We were like at this beach house talking about swimming. Like, it was crazy.
Brighton
I was
Beach,
probably
by any
like
chance?
I was starstruck for a moment. I don't get
Sure.
starstruck very often, but like Neil Simon is just
Yeah,
such
we
a
don't
legend.
either. That would maybe not.
Well, he's not a
be-
star. That's
close
why.
me up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a
Yeah.
Brad Pitt. Nobody knows what he looks like unless you like him.
Well, unless you like him, but once you've read all of his work, you kind of geek out because you feel like you
feel
have
it.
this bond to
brain.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was cool.
You're deep. You're very deep.
Well, I don't. Am I deep? I don't
good.
know. I feel deep sometimes.
You're bonding with Neil Simon.
Yes, that was very cool. I will say one of the fun adventures of LA. Right? You know, you just.
How was it? Just bumping into somebody at a party? You mean?
No, I was. So the book A Mermaid's Guide. I teach swimming. I travel around the globe teaching
talk about this.
swimming lessons.
Seriously?
Well, yeah. So Rebel is my company, and we have a couple different branches. So in the winters,
Do we talk about this first or Rebel or
well,
both? So we should
it's
tell
combined.
people what Rebel is.
It's combined.
Okay. All right.
Well-
Well, I'll let you do it then.
Rebel is my company, and it's pronounced Rebel. RBL, relaxation-based lifestyle. What Rebel does is it helps bring people relaxation through laughter, or in this case, insight about the pool, because people fear things that they don't really understand.
Right.
So in the same way that when I'm producing a film, I bring calmness to people and help run things in a smooth way.
Yes.
I do that
It's all
same
about the
thing in
energy,
the
right?
pool. Yeah, all about the energy, bringing
Flow.
calmness to unexpected places. Film sets aren't really known for being very peaceful and loving, whereas on my sets, I really strive to say, look, we're kindness first. like we're humans first. We're going to make a great project, and everyone performs better when they feel like they're in a safe space. And that's the same with swimming. The kids feel better when they know that I will hold them and I will keep them safe.
Yeah.
So Rebel does this kind of breeding of calmness in unexpected places in different parts. So Rebel Publishing has a mermaid's guide. Rebel Studios does the film and television side, and we have a TV show coming out. We'll talk about that later. But
So you self-published?
yeah, so I have a book agent, and we did explore
Wow.
other routes with it.
Well, this appeals to me. What we're doing,
Yes.
self-production. I love it.
Yeah, and I was going to put it out myself because I wasn't interested in playing the
I wouldn't
whole
have
publishing
known.
game.
I wouldn't have known that holding this
Thank
this
you.
item in my hand, though. This product. I wouldn't have known that. Oh yeah, you should just put this out herself. You know what I mean? This is a real book. This
Yes,
is
it
put
was
together
a-
and bound professionally.
Yeah, it was a journey. I mean, I did hire people to help me in the process designing the cover, and I did a lot of research on how do publishing companies work because I kind of like discovering how to do something. So I said, if I'm going to open a publishing company, because I have other books that I would like to put out in the way that I would like to see them. And it really comes down to the same way a film, you get a distributor, they're going to have a say in what your poster is, what it looks like. And I talked to a lot of publishers and blessed them, but they had a very different vision. They didn't like the title. They wanted a picture with kid in the water wings on the cover.
Sure.
And because of the quotes and the clients that I have endorsing the book, I couldn't sign off on a contract that said, you can do whatever you want, just whatever, it's fine. I was like, I'm not interested in having the book not be beautiful in the way I like it. And if you're not willing to say that I get 100% control of that for this product, I'm just going to put it out myself because I was ready to go anyway.
Right.
So it's been a journey learning about how to publish a book and how to open a publishing branch.
Sure.
But I kind of like it. Like I like that journey of trying
Wonderfully
to explore.
exciting, I would imagine, and plus
Yes.
learning anything new.
Learning
But-
anything new
but
is great.
Having a skill where this once you know how to do this once, as
Yeah.
long as you can
Yeah.
film more of these, you've got a business.
Yes, I have 3 more in the works, and then also a poetry book that's called Where the Sanity Ends for parents with toddlers, which
Where can people get this? All the usual places?
Amazon is the best place.
Amazon.
There's hardcover. I did a book signing at Barnes &
picture.
Noble. So Barnes & Noble at
Cool.
the Grove has some signed hardcovers. Yeah, but Amazon's a good place, and I just got done with the Audible. So in
Ooh.
probably 2 weeks, the Audible will come
Did
out.
you do it yourself?
I did it myself.
How is that to do? I've heard mixed.
I loved it. I have a good friend, Stephanie Bentley, who has a studio, kind of like you guys, in her room.
Oh, that's great.
it's so
you
great.
didn't have to go to some cold place with somebody you don't know and all that stuff.
No, and she taught me how to do it, which I always love, knowing how to record myself or how to do it myself, because then
Gain the skill.
yeah, you gain the skill.
Same
So
reason.
I recorded it one time and got about halfway through, and then my book agent was like, "Well, don't do that. Let's try and sell someone, and someone will produce it for you." So I stopped, and then I got busy on this TV show, and I just paused, and then circled back to the beginning of this year, and I told my agent, I'm like, "Look, I'm going to put it out in March, so you have until March to get something that I approve of, or you can have my next book. I'll do this one myself." And then I put it out, and it was already done, so it was great. And I didn't have time to circle back to the Audible. So I just now circled back to the Audible, but
This is only recently out, though, right? Didn't this only come out in
a couple
May?
months ago.
Yeah.
so
This is brand new, I would say.
from doing what was great, I think life sometimes kind of gives you windows when you're ready to have that window, right? Like
I
it
believe in
kind
this
of,
very much so, yes.
yeah, it gives you that time when it's ready for that thing to be birthed, whatever it is. So through doing the book
Timing is
signings-
everything. I mean, I've heard that since I was a little kid. Timing is everything.
Yeah, the timing of stuff and how if we don't struggle against life so hard to make things happen when we want them to happen, if we just kind of float in it, it'll give you the opportunities. And through doing the book signings and so much press and publicity for the book, I realized that the Audible didn't really have my voice in it. It felt very kind of formal as I listened to it back, which wasn't how, and I got some great feedback from people. They're like, just talk how you talk on the shows and talk how you talk.
They want you to be natural, right?
Yeah, and
Just
I was
be you.
trying so
Right.
hard to be perfect.
Right.
I was like, this Audible, I can't have any breaths, and I have to
Right.
make sure every word is perfect.
Do you listen to audiobooks?
I love audiobooks.
It's about, for me, I love audiobooks because I love getting the voice of the narration from the author.
Yes.
So I totally see what people.
Because you're getting their personality. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't want you to be perfect.
They don't.
Yeah.
And do you
way.
find in those Audibles the ones that are the best are the ones that, yeah, you can get that flavor and they're not trying too hard to make the book perfect. I don't know, right? Like
Yes.
it feels like you want
I get their
to
vibe.
feel-
Their energy comes through, and that to me is another layer to whatever they're writing.
and you can hear the way they would say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we used to use the term overproduced. You know what I mean? In music or in film or U2 radio and the same thing. It's like they're
Yeah.
overproduced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I
I
think-
overproduced my first one 100%.
Rookie mistake, right?
Rookie
that's,
mistake.
That's any stand-up comedian going up to the mic for the first time. Hey, everybody!
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Speaking at the top of your register and the whole thing.
Yeah, totally overproduced. So,
So you got it down to normal, and it's your voice for the audio. That's
yes.
incredible.
So I redid it,
And you're
and
happy.
I think sometimes it's hard to. You feel so much time. Like I spent hours doing the first one, hours. But to be able to say, look, I didn't waste my time. I learned so many crucial things during that
Yeah.
process, and now I can redo it in a way that is better.
If you even need to, whatever. I love that your process. There's a book behind you, House Industries, and their slogan is "The process is the inspiration." And it's something I live
Yeah.
behind very, very boldly.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
when I was a kid, I wanted everything to be perfect. I was like, oh, so I wouldn't do it. I wait till whatever, and I was missing opportunities by not doing whatever, not going after whatever the heck it was. Just get on the train.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You'll get it moving. The process is the inspiration.
Yes.
So the fact that you went and did it once is why you were able to go back and do it right the second time.
Exactly,
If
and
that makes
I have a
sense.
funny story about the how we feel sometimes, like we're gonna miss something if we do something else. When I booked the
FOMO.
Legend, yeah,
FOMO, right? Yeah, she used to have that.
Oh, really? You're
Very
a FOMO
badly.
recoverist,
Yes.
Recovering FOMO.
recovering.
Yeah.
When I booked the Legend of Bruce Lee, and I was going to be out of the country for months shooting this show, I told one of my actor friends, I'm like, I just booked Linda Lee in this show about Bruce Lee, and he's like, well, are you going to take it? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take it. And he's like, but then you'll be out of the game for like 5 months. I'm like, what?
What?
I just won the game. That was the game. You know, it's like this idea that you're so scared you're going to miss out on something.
That's
I don't know.
everybody-
Better
yeah.
than being Bruce Lee's wife. I was like, what are you talking
For a
about?
50 episode guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it 50?
It was 50, yeah.
I mean, that
It's
is a hell of a
crazy.
deal.
Yeah.
So this
Everyone's
idea-
got different games.
And I
So
feel like
follow
that,
your own
that was
game.
the game, you know?
Make
So,
your own soup.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should talk a little bit about your acting too. Then, my goodness, you've done a lot of stuff. I don't understand how you got from Wisconsin to either New York or LA, though. So, what happened to get you from Wisconsin, where you were doing theater stuff, to being in Hollywood motion pictures and
Well,
TV shows and stuff?
I called my sister and I said, I'm going to drive to LA. Would you like to come with me? And she said, nah, okay. She's really easygoing. She's like, whatever.
But what about you? How did you get there?
Well,
where did
we
that come
drove.
from? No, but
No.
where did that come from? You know what I mean? Where did that inspiration and the
Well,
courage? The courage.
I always knew I wanted to. I was at Northwestern and I was doing theater there, and for some reason, I grew up in the theater, but I wasn't clicking in the way that there's a lot of amazing actors who come out of Northwestern, and it wasn't clicking in a way that I felt like it made sense for me. And I started on a short film that somebody had auditions for, actually shot on film. This was shot on
Impressive.
real film.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was cool. And
They've got a budget.
well,
This
or
is a
they
real
don't
thing.
because there was no choice kind of at this time.
Oh, I see your point.
Yeah,
if you
it
wanted
was-
to make something, it was on.
It was on film.
I gotcha.
So I did this woman's short film, and I thought, this makes sense. I know where the audience is. I know how to feel something. So, and if the camera's here, it makes sense, or if the camera's there, it makes sense.
Is
it
it
just
about
made
being
sense.
right sized, or is it just because it's one-on-one, you and the camera, versus having an audience to play to?
I think just because it was so intimate.
Okay.
Whereas with the audience, because we would do the Greeks, and they were like, you have to play to the back of the house, and then we would do.
You get to be much smaller.
Yeah,
Smaller.
we do, a Neil Simon, and we'd have to have that comedy, but it would have to both be real and translate. I found it a
Well,
little bit
I equate it to the main
hard.
room and close-up magic. You know what I mean? Close-up magic
Yeah.
is right here. It's being done right before you. It's very subtle. There's all
Yeah.
sorts of crazy things going on right before you versus that guy's way. You almost need binoculars to, but I get the gist of it.
Yes.
Is
So-
there any kind of...
Yes, and I felt like in a way that if I'm feeling something on film, you just feel it. And as long as you're authentic in what you're feeling, it picks up. And I would do that in acting class, and the teacher would be like, we can't see you in the back. And I'm like, well, what's that mean? How am I supposed to do this so you can see me in the back feeling this intimate emotion? So
Sit
for
closer.
me, come in the front. You can see me in the front. The first row's got
These
a good
are
view.
open. The front row's open.
The front row's good. It's not like a movie. So I just always wanted to go to LA because I really liked the medium. It just made sense. I would do classes in acting class, and instead of doing the blocking like I would when I used to direct a play, I would do storyboards to where I thought the camera would be in the scenes so I could do the scene properly in a way that made sense.
So you were hyper-prepared then all of a sudden, so I'm sure you were delivering wonderfully.
In the acting classes?
Yes, I'm sure you were delivering the work wonderfully because you were so effing prepared to the point where you knew your physical space better than anyone else in the room.
Yeah, by senior year, I had figured out a method that worked for me that translated properly.
Yes.
So that was great. And then
Then you moved to a different room.
And then I moved to a different room. And LA actually was quite different. I think I come from such an arty background. I think the hardest thing coming to LA was to realize that so much of it is a business. And so much of what you do, I would go into rooms just what I'd wear to acting class, like all black, like sweatpants and a shirt. I'm like, I'm acting. We're going to all feel I'm going to be a 90-year-old woman
Stella
today.
Adler's coming in behind me. Sure.
I shall do this beautifully. And really what I learned is like meeting with agents. Some of it, you have to pay attention to your image, and they're not going to make that for you. They want you to embody what you're auditioning for, not be in black sweat. They don't want to have to.
They don't want to do the work.
Imagine it. And I get it because it's fast. And I understand because I've been on the other side of the casting. And you don't know what someone is capable unless you see it 100% in front of you when you're moving like that.
Right. You're giving them a blank canvas and they're looking for the art.
They're looking for exactly what they need because that's what their job is. And they have to move fast and they don't want to put themselves at risk if they're not 100% sure.
Absolutely.
Which is also why actors can't get roles that they haven't done before. Because when you're trying to get a new role and you're like, well, I can do it. They're like, well, have you done it? It's like, well, no, but that's the point.
Right.
There's
so much stuff riding on this. We can't take a chance.
Yeah,
it's
a little hard. It's a little hard. But in a good way, from doing the castings, I just, you can't take it personally. It just, you're going to be right for what you're right for. But I will say that's why I like producing films too, because I can, like in Strangely in Love, I play a blind girl who is so unlike me. She doesn't talk like me. She doesn't act like me. She doesn't think like me. And when you produce a film and you work with the director so intensely and we workshopped, it's just like the theater again. Yeah, you got to go back and just, and like explore the characters and get into the script. And we were adapting Dostoevsky's White Nights into a comedy. So it's like Charlie Chaplin meets Dostoevsky and they're like blended up. Yeah, it's like, so it was cool. It was very theatrical in a way. And a lot of the shots are all in one shot, one take.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of brought me back to my roots.
Sure.
We had a lot of rehearsal time and really got to dig back in.
I think of Birdman on that one. They did a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh, I love Birdman. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Yes. I thought that was so good.
Tackled some of the same type of things with the long walk and talks.
Yes. Yeah. Which really lets you breathe with the characters and also is challenging as an actor because you have to hit all the highs and lows properly.
That's what I was going to say. It's one take.
It's one take. You got to hit everything. And on a good note, we did get to rehearse, whereas a lot of the times you show up on set and you can do it a few times and mix it up, and then they'll edit together a nice combination of those. But I really like the rehearsal process.
Yeah.
So you can really find those naturally.
And then they tape it all in one.
Yeah, all in one. We'd have like 3-minute takes. The whole ending, the end scene of Strangely in Love, like the climax is one take, except for one cut where they punched in on his face. But I don't
even count that as a cut.
It's just like
tighter,
one time to see his expression.
Could have been a digital push. And
then we pop back out, which was really fun.
I love what you're saying. I resonate with it very much so because this wouldn't be fun for me if we shot it on 5 cameras and then took it into a room and edited it later into a perfect thing. This is fun to me because we shoot it live on tape for an hour or however long we go, and it is however it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you accidentally say something wrong, like unless it's something where you really want me to take it out, like it's going to be in.
Yeah.
Because that's normal and that's natural and it's not overproduced like we were talking about before. For me, I want to see all that stuff. It's part of the magic for me.
Yes.
You're the same way?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, so I don't know. I find that whatever you'll want to be perfect, whether it was the voiceover or the acting or producing or whatever, I just find that the perfection's in the imperfection. For me anyway. And for most artists. Mm-hmm. And we're the ones kind of making this thing happen anyway. You know what I mean? And the bean counters come in and monetize it.
I think that's why people or at least I liked acting, is it was the one space. And now I've been able to take what I like about acting into other spaces in my life. But it was the one time where I didn't want to be anywhere else. Like it was almost like meditative in the way that you're so connected with where you're at that you don't want to be anywhere else. And I didn't for a long time have anything else that I felt that way about.
Okay.
And now with Rebel, I look at how do we pull that kind of, Zen state or connectiveness into every single day, into every single part of your day. And a lot of it is just discovering how to vacation within and say, even if I'm doing something I don't want to do right now, I do have a choice. And maybe I don't like redoing the Adobe formatting on this book for the 53rd time, but I don't have to be doing it right now.
Right.
I'm wanting to be here. I want to do this. I literally don't have to do this right now. So I kind of ask myself those questions, and then I can just really focus and be in the moment in a way that I was with acting, and now I am with so many more things in life, especially with children. You can't really, you have to be present, which is so great with children.
Was there a, for lack of a better term, a tipping point at any point where you were always doing this art stuff and whatever, and then it seems, but by this art stuff, I mean acting, theater and TV and film, but it seems like you, at some point you took a turn to go into wellness, and certainly the thoughts behind this book and the fundamental whatever behind the relaxation-based lifestyle. These to me are more about being mindful, more about being very present, more about meditation, more about figuring yourself out, doing the work within one's self, so that they're then ready to be a good person for the rest of the world. Did anything happen to you, or was it just a natural progression through life where, I hit a certain age and this is the day I'm going to start working on this stuff? I didn't ask a question there very well.
No,
but
I totally understand. And I have a little trajectory through it. So through The Legend of Bruce Lee, I got done with that show and I really thought, well, now I was going to make it as an actor. Like I did this whole series. I played Bruce Lee's wife. I came back to LA. I'm like, da-da-da-da.
Set up, ready to go.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
No one cared. And then the writer's strike happened in 2008. So all of a sudden the roles that I was getting now were going to big name actors. And instead of taking that as a bad thing, Ian Gnomes, Esham Gnomes had a feature film that they wanted to direct and they had written called Lost on Purpose. And at the time I was going to act in it, but they needed a producer. And they said, hey, Michelle, will you produce this? And I said...
You already taught yourself how to do that.
Well, no, this was the first one.
Oh.
This was the first one.
Oh, my, okay.
So I said, of course not. That sounds like a horrible idea. I don't have any idea how to do that.
Talent, it's a different skill set.
Totally different skill set. But I resisted, and then we didn't have any choice.
Yep.
So it was great, though, because I like the process of learning how to do something. So I read a lot of books. I asked a lot of questions. I met with our lawyer. I just dug in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I didn't know you were supposed to have like 35 people behind the scenes. I was doing all of those jobs, from accounting to transpo to whatever. Our makeup artist, bless her, was driving transpo for me. I was like, we don't have anyone else. I don't know what to do. So through
That's
the
as low budget
process-
non-union as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
That's the real deal.
But we got great actors. James Lafferty from One Tree Hill, Jane Kasmerick from Welcome in the
I
Middle,
love her.
Wow.
C. Thomas Howell.
He's wonderful. All great
Amazing.
people.
So I really got a crash course in talking to the big agencies and booking big talent. And the biggest thing that I would do, which I wasn't kind of aware of at the time, but what this is also doing is just staying calm in a tense situation and making sure everyone feels safe and taken care of. And as long as everyone felt that, the set was great. Everything ran.
Everything
It's all
works.
anyone
Everything
wants.
was
Everything
great.
works out, yeah.
Yes. I only broke down crying one time when I was trying to clean out the excrement, whatever, the poop from the trailer, and we didn't have anyone to do that, and I couldn't get it out. And that's the only time I really had a meltdown. I was like, I can't get it out. I can't get it out. It was horrible. So I survived that. It's a true story. Ian had to come out and rescue me. He's like, you're okay. You're okay. But through that process, I learned that you don't need permission to produce or do anything.
Right.
It was really
Anything.
empowering in that
Yeah.
way. I was like, oh, I can just learn how to do it and just do it. That's
That's
awesome.
a great equalizer in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're using it for producing, but it applies everywhere.
Applies everywhere. I mean, same with the book, same
Yeah.
with this studio.
Yeah, you got it.
You know, it's just like, I think we sometimes wait for someone to like christen us.
We're waiting for someone to say, yes, you can do this.
Yes,
Because you've
you can
always
do it.
wanted to, and you're going to get to do it now.
Yep.
And here's your shot.
And here.
If you want it, go do it.
Go do it. And sometimes it does happen, like with the Bruce Lee thing. They're like, yes, we have christened you. You can go do it. And I was like, great, this is how life works.
I maintain that was a result of the work you had done previously.
Say it one more time.
You wouldn't have gotten that if you hadn't done so much work previously.
Yes.
You paid your dues. You worked in theater. You did a lot of other things before you got that job.
That's true. And I also, though,
come out of nowhere.
Feel like with those shows, you have such, or anytime you get a part in something, you have such a blessing that you get to show up and do your art in a way that, you know, someone's behind the scenes and hadn't slept for 3 months.
Yeah.
And, you know, is really busting it to try and, you know, figure everything out, and you could just get to come in. So I do feel like that's such like a gift in a way, even though you worked hard to get there.
Absolutely.
It's still such a beautiful gift to have. So Lost on Purpose, then I produced Strangely in Love, again another project I was going to act in, and they needed a producer, and I said, let me do it. And he was like, no, because I just want you to act. And I said, we're not going to find somebody who can produce this for the budget. And that movie, we shot that movie feature film for $40,000.
Oof. Wow.
Not a single person got paid on that other than Amanda Plummer, who is amazing and came in, and there's 4 people in the play. No one, not crew member. It was literally a act of love for every single member of that team. Now, you can't do that all the time, and people are like, oh, you should pay people. Well, not when we're all just making a piece of art. Right. Like, that's what it was. Everyone was just there to make a piece of art.
Right. As long as everyone knows that this isn't the one that's paying the bills, and then you're fine.
And people would come to us. They're like,
Sure.
can we do this? I'm like, sure, we're doing this. And it was such, and no one, because there was no money, that entity was removed.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was so
There's so much
happy.
love when there's no alternate agenda.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's incredible, you know? So to be able to, and that's really now what I try and separate in my life is like things are not connected to money. Money is a separate entity that has nothing
Separate
to
resource,
do
yeah.
with whatever we're doing.
Agreed. You work for whatever you work for, and the money comes.
And the money is just a separate flow.
Yeah.
So in that film, that was great. And then right after that, I got pregnant, and I had Trayton, who's my son, my older son. And then I got pregnant again and had Evelyn, who's my daughter. And during that time, my husband was still writing and directing, and I would do little roles in that. But with 2 young babies, it really changes. Now I didn't want to spend a day driving to an audition because
Sure.
I had a toddler and I was breastfeeding, and it really complicated things in a way that
Sure.
I became uninterested.
Well, we have friends who just had their second, and everybody says the same thing. It's not like just times 2. It's
No,
times
it's
26.
exponential.
Yeah.
Exponential.
That's what they said too.
Yeah,
It
which
sounds
you-
nuts.
Don't quite grasp until it happens to you. But it's great now. It's great now. They're buddies, so they can, you know, hang out.
Well, how old
And
are they now?
4 and 6.
Oh, good for you. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and now we can go places, and I'm not
Now
sweating.
they're close enough where they can kind of start doing the same thing.
Yeah, and
little bit.
they're good buddies. They play and they, you know, really entertain each other, and they're great. So when they were 1 and 3, we did a film called Small Town Crime with Octavia Spencer, John Hawkes, Anthony Anderson, John Hawkes. Can I say my S's? Anthony Anderson, and I hear my Linda Gates, my speech teacher at Northwestern. My nickname was Misty in college, and she'd go, "Misty, that was horrible." Like I can hear her every time I say my S's. Thank you, Linda. So John Hawkes, and Anthony Anderson, and my husband wrote and directed, and I helped with.
We haven't said your husband's name yet, should
Ian
we?
Nelms.
Ian Nelms.
Ian
okay.
Nelms and Asham Nelms, great writing, directing team.
You mentioned them before separately. I didn't know if that was the connection was made for everyone else.
Yes. So they write and direct together, and I help with the producing. So I helped
Great.
with the producing end of Small Town Crime. But back to this cool idea of being able to, once you can do that, is the character that I play in Small Town Crime is John Hawkes' girlfriend, and I have a mohawk. It's nothing like my usual energy. You know, when you're in the process, you now don't just have to play yourself in different situations because that's what you're cast at. You can say, hey,
can
let me
shed
talk.
it.
Yeah, you can kind of like dig in and make something cool and
Explore
interesting.
a little bit.
And explore a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it was great.
More like an exercise.
More like
even
an
though you're putting it into
exercise.
the art.
Yeah, and you can do something. The role wasn't written like that. It was written bartender or, you know, whatever. You know, so you can
Stretch
kind of.
out.
And
But
John
that's how the
was
magic
great.
happens. That's the artistic creative process.
Yeah, and John was so fun. The other fun part about being on set and helping was John would be like, hey, Michelle, you want to run lines? And I'm like, sure, John Hawkes. Yes, I do. Yes, John Hawkes. Thank you. And we would talk about the character and why these two people would have met or what they liked or what their interest was to make that relationship make sense in a way that if I just come on for a day role without that.
You have time to build the backstory, it sounds like. That's so...
Yeah, which is great.
That.
Back to the fact, I guess, that I like rehearsals.
It's all about layers, right?
Yeah,
For
all
me,
about the layers.
You mentioned the studio and all the details. And for me, it's all of the layers. The layers are what make, I don't know, what makes something interesting. Whether it's a person or an architect or whatever.
Yeah, and then you can dig in the first layer, and then as you look around more, you notice more stuff, like that little quote, "Life is but a dream" over there that I just noticed, and like all the little layers that you can keep digging into. My favorite movies
in the history of my life are the ones that I still to this day can watch over and over and discover something new in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it's all about the same thing, the layers, and people who are interesting to me the same way, and anything.
Yeah, so those...
Shallow stuff doesn't really interest me. That's what I was saying before. You're kind of deep. I feel like you're similar in that.
Well, thank you. I will take that and hold it close. I appreciate that, and I feel that same way with you all. And I think when you find people who kind of like that kind of stuff, you naturally sort of gravitate.
Yeah. Well, that's the energetic thing, right? We're all pulled together.
I read this book once, and I can't remember what it was, but they said that if you can tap into that sort of life stream energy, you will feel like every day you're on drugs or
yeah, sure. You're high on life, really, right?
Yes, but oh, wait, we got so sidetracked to how Rebel even started.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're gonna
but this cues into it. So
okay.
I spent a lot of time fighting upstream, like being frustrated by things that I couldn't control. And even though I was always very good at creating calm in the pool.
We're leading up to that tipping point.
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes. See, we're finally back to that. We went a full circle around the block, and we're here. But this idea that it can be such a frustrating industry in a way that I spent way too much time feeling things that are not helpful in any way. And with these swimming lessons, so in the summer, I travel globally teaching children this very specific, serene, meditative type of swim lesson. So it's really encompassing mind, body, spirit. How do we take children and teach them to overcome problems in the pool, like a little microcosm for life? So it's a very specific type of swim lesson. And my husband did it for years. That's how we paid the bills. And then we would go make our movies in the winter. And so with this book, I really don't know if I would have written a book had the bigger goal of this just been, if I can save one child with this book, it will be worth the hours and months and years of toil. Because I don't know if I would have spent that much time writing a book that didn't have the capabilities to save one child, because the drowning statistics are frightening. It's the number one cause of accidental death for kids ages 1 to 4 over car accidents. And I thought, this is the most heartbreaking thing, and I can fix this problem in some way. So that's how that book came to be. But back to the tipping point is the fact that through these lessons, in a very small way, I had learned how never to feel stress, how to not let anything waver me. I mean, I had these twins throw up Taco Bell down my back one time, and it was just like the most slimy, disgusting thing ever. And if I cannot let that bother me, I can do that in life. I don't have to be bothered by Taco Bell slime, and it literally doesn't bother me in the pool. I get kids who punch me in the face, who kick me, who scream because they're scared. Yeah. And when you look at those as like, they're not doing it to be mean, just like life sometimes I feel like kicks you in the face. They're not doing it. It's just part of it. And everything is beautiful in the water. Every child is going to be great. And they are. So I learned how to do that in the pool. And my husband said, well, you've learned how to do that in the pool. Just expand it out into everyday life. And about 3 years ago, I started the Rebel Diaries, which I haven't done anything with yet. But that process of taking what I do in the pool and feeling that same sense of calmness, it's like a calm but a control, because in the water, I'm 100% in control of the process, even though I'm not in control of what happens necessarily, what the kids' emotions are, what's happening. So to be able to take that and tip it into everyday life is really why I really dug into the holistic side of everything and how to create. And already feel like we're so stuck on getting to a certain point. Like, I want to get here.
And then.
Yeah.
And then my life will be great.
Yes, but there will
once
never
I do
be.
this or get this.
Yes,
always.
Once I get to this point, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Then I'll be calm.
I'll
then
have
I'll be
done it.
fulfilled.
Life will be
right.
great.
Yeah. And
Does not work that way.
does not work
No,
that way.
Never.
It's all the same. Whatever it is, whether I'm working on a really low budget film or a big budget film or whatever, it's just the doing doesn't change.
Do you know Jim Carrey at all in any way?
I mean, I know of him.
Okay. He's probably changed his career trajectory in the last few years as he's changed his paths in life. He wishes for everyone their greatest success, their greatest dreams, achievements, anything you've ever wanted out of life. He wishes you could have it so that you could see immediately that doesn't change a goddamn thing. It doesn't do anything. If you've got $20 million in the bank or whatever, it doesn't change anything. You have to change you if you want your life to be different. And by that I mean the experience that you experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the same way that this show is so amazing and you created it, you weren't waiting for someone to say, let me build this show for you.
I waited for 20 years and then I got tired of waiting.
See? See, and how cool.
That was my tipping point.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then how cool, to be able to do it. Like, I wanted a studio. I'm like, I want a studio to shoot a lot of the things. So I was like, well, I'll just go to my basement and paint a wall and build a studio.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, we just can do it, which is cool. And I think sometimes
you're not afraid of trying things. You're not afraid of getting in and trying something new, which you've said a few times here. In fact, you enjoy that process.
I like that. I think that's what I like most.
So do I, but I know that it's because it makes me bigger and better or whatever in the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes me more capable, more able to more able to keep my calm head on in an experience that I've never experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you too? Are you the same kind of person?
Yeah, I think I like solving problems and I like the challenge.
A bit of it, yeah.
And I like, once I know how to do something really well, I get a little bored in a way that I'm trying to figure out, right? And trying to figure out how I can keep doing it.
Right, it's got to keep getting
in a different
better.
way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's nice to know how to do something. Like, I certainly know how to teach swimming lessons, but as I was teaching, because I was pregnant and had kids and I wasn't working as much in the industry, instead of just sitting there and going, okay, I know how to teach the swim lessons, I was thinking, okay, what am I doing during these lessons what is working?
Right.
What is working? And I'm going to start writing this down so I can help other people do it. I wasn't just stopping, even though, I mean, my business is word of mouth. I don't need to do this book for any other reason than I really, truly hope every parent can teach their child to swim because...
Right. Well, and like you said, even if you save one.
Even if I save one. If I help one child.
Yeah.
Because I see those drowning things and I pull over to my car and I cry because I know what children are capable of in the water.
It's so funny to me because you're saying all the same stuff, but I am looking at this much more as a life guide, much more than just learning how to swim. Once you learn how to swim and you know that you can do that, then you can handle everything else.
Yeah.
That's the rest. That's the and in life.
And in life.
To me, it's... The drowning is almost inconsequential. It's a wonderful problem that you're helping solve a little bit, but what you're really doing, to me, more important, is setting kids up for a healthy life.
Yes.
To me, that is so much more important than whether or not they know how to swim.
Right, and I agree. And no, it's so true. In a way
you're solving a bunch of problems.
I think it's funny. The catalyst of it was just because I felt like I could save a life. But the outcome of what came from it was so much bigger, and why I like teaching, and it's probably the only thing I could teach, because when I'm looking in that child's eyes and telling them that it's okay to be scared, it's okay to cry, it's okay that it's hard, I feel like hopefully my voice will go with them next time they're up against something hard. And a lot of the times for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, no one's ever told them that before. We're always trying to fix their problems. We're trying to fix everything for them.
Don't let them just be in it for a minute. Just feel what you're feeling. It's okay.
Yeah, feel what you're feeling, and
you're
it's
giving
okay
them a
that
gift.
It's hard.
You're giving them a gift. I know you know, but like that's such a gift. Like when I taught swim lessons, I remember that their eyes.
Because you're a swimmer.
Yeah.
Did you teach for a while?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, you're giving them a gift. That confidence that you're instilling in them is incredible.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's cool.
job.
It's the only thing that is so life and death like that. It's so fun, but it's also deadly, and it's the first thing that children come up against like that. So it creates this great little bubble to teach them that they are strong and brave, and that it's okay to try hard things, and it's okay to fail.
All right, Michelle Lang, are you on social media?
I am on social media.
What are your social medias?
At the Michelle Lang, or Rebels page is at B_A_RBL. And those underscores, I'm like, why did I do that to myself? What was I thinking?
That's all right.
Underscores.
We'll post that for sure.
Underscores.
Did you enjoy this experience?
I loved it.
We're about done. Is there anything else you want to throw in? Is there anything I didn't hit that you wanted to? We got
Well,
your book. We got your Rebel.
We didn't talk about Everyone's Doing Great, which is coming out soon.
Well,
It's a TV show.
Talk about it.
With it's a TV show with James Lafferty, Stephen Coletti, Alexandra Park.
All right. Here's your camera right
And
here. That was
yeah.
just in case,
Just in case I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No.
What is that? What is that thing?
No, I mean if you wanted to specifically.
Oh,
say,
address?
Hey, watch my show. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's coming out soon. No, it was more just a, hey, this is cool. Please,
an eye out for it.
we're grateful for the fans. It was crowdfunded. So
Oh, cool.
we shot all 8 episodes. So it's going to be coming out soon.
Cool.
Awesome. On YouTube.
We're just
looking
in
for
we're finishing it first, and then we're going to find the best home.
Fair enough. That's easy. Mrs. Ryan, anything else?
No.
All right. In that case, thank you so much for being here.
It means a
course.
lot.
Thank
Thanks.
you for having me.
Tomorrow, Mrs. Ryan, we've got Mike Siegel,
Yeah, he's a comedian.
comedian. Okay, and Thursday, Steph Curtis is back. One of our favorites. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. I almost said Steph Curry. That's a different guy.
Different guy.
This is Steph Curtis, female. Mrs. Ryan, I love you so very much.
I
We
love
love
you
you
too.
so very much, Michelle.
I love you so very much.
We love everybody at home. Please love one another, and we will see you tomorrow with Mike Siegel.
It's cool how you do all the stuff. That's a lot. You have to be talking